I should ask if you have any questions from yesterday. Maybe. Any other question?
Spirituality.
I think most of us are still digesting all that information, so
Good.
can we?
Let's send you on form.
Diego?
In the mantra, I'm Hrim Klim. I'm body, Hrim mind, Klim soul.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Our mantra should be ascendant body, well, obviously.
Yes,
Moon,
Yes.
the order.
Yes.
Ascendant, mind, moon, and soul.
Yes.
Yes, I want to ask something. Timing.
Timing of what?
Upapada.
Timing of Upapada. So we have to learn dashas first. When we get to
But
dashas,
we
we'll
know
time.
all the dashas.
You know the dashas? Are you sure?
Vimshottari Narayana.
Tcha! You don't know Vimshottari, trust me. I'll show you what to do with Vimshottari.
Yes, that's a
Okay. First we have to learn Naisargya Dasha. We're doing that this year.
something to do with Karaka of Bhava, which you count from Mahadasha to Antardasha, maybe, and then Trikonada Karaka.
Dashas again?
I'm sure
First we have to learn Dasha. First you have to learn Dasha, then we'll discuss. You think you know Dasha because you opened Jagannath Torah many times and you saw Vimshottari Dasha. So you think you know Dasha. So that doesn't mean you know Dasha. That means you've read Dasha.
Yes.
No, it's
We have a joke among astrologers, you know. You can predict and justify anything with Vimshottari Dasha. People do it all the time in India. Doesn't mean they know Dasha. Okay. If you learn Dasha properly, you will know what to do with it.
Yes.
Good. Any other questions?
Mhm.
All righty then.
It's again the second year,
No,
third
this year.
year.
He promised this year.
This year I'm doing Naisargika
This
Dasha.
year.
Next year I'm also doing Naisargika Dasha. Third year I'm also doing Naisargika Dasha. You'll be very good at Naisargika
Is
Dasha.
it the only
What about
Dasha?
Vimshottari? Is there
And
something like
Narayana and
Little bit.
Sudasha and
to
No,
the
it's a-
Little bit of
It's a 4-5 year course. You have to come back. He wants you to come back, so he doesn't give you everything this year. It's fine. Let's go. I'm a little impatient.
Most of the dashes will come on second year, third year also, and fourth year also. Okay? A little bit on first year. I'll show you some tips. Now, Swamsha. Swamsha and signs. See, what is Swamsha? Swa is the self. It refers to yourself. Remember we said Swa Adhisthana, so the self sits in the Swa Adhisthana chakra. What is defined as the self? We have 3 forms of the self, the soul, mind and body, from which we see the sun for the soul, the moon for the mind, and the lagna for the body. From the sun comes the Atma Karaka, from the moon comes the Aruda Lagna, and from the lagna comes the Paka Lagna. All these 6 are a definition of yourself and are implied by the word Swa. So whenever Jaimini uses the word Swa or Swamsha, he's referring to one of these 3 or 6.
And then how do you know which one exactly he refers to?
You give your guru sweets and he tells you.
Sweet.
Okay? What's more? There are also other definitions of the self called Vishesha Lagna. You know of some of them? Katika Lagna, Vora Lagna, Varnada Lagna, Pranapada. These are also parts of the self. So sometimes Jaimini can be referring to them. It depends a lot on context. But the sutras are very broad. So one sutra can apply to all of them if you know how to apply it, as you saw from our previous discussion on Aruda Lagna, right? And then Upapada. There are some other sutras who are quite broad. We could apply them to a lot of things. This also refers to the divisional charts because of the word Amsha. And either of these definitions of the self, all these 6 can be seen in all divisional charts. And we refer to Amsha. Ata, Swamsho, Grahanam. The results of planetary and sign placement based on the Swamsha being described. Swamsha means self. We had these 6 here I talked of just now. Karakamsha is the Navamsa sign of Atma Karaka. So a bit of definition of terminology here. Karakamsha is the Navamsa sign of Atma Karaka. It is a reference to the sign of Atma Karaka. And it need not be the Navamsa sign. It can be the Shastiyamsa sign. It can be the Drekana sign. It can be the Dashamsa sign. It can be any of the divisional charts where the word Karaka Amsha is used. There's also a word, is it listed here? Karaka Lagna. You heard the term Karaka Lagna maybe? Karaka Lagna means the planet which is Atma Karaka, where it is placed, and treating that as Lagna. Here we have a difference between Karakamsha and Karaka Lagna. Karakamsha refers to that sign. Karaka Lagna refers to planetary positions from that.
From that sign where Atma Karaka is placed, for example? Or
Yes.
something to
Karaka Lagna refers to houses from the sign where Atma Karaka is placed. Whereas Karakamsha means the sign itself where it is placed. Both are similar, but you can see there's a difference in usage. Okay? One focuses on the sign, one focuses on houses they're from. So you can have Karaka Lagna in Navamsha, you can have Karaka Lagna in Dashamsha. Because you have an Atma Karaka, it's placed somewhere, and you see houses they're from. We're going to be talking a lot about both Karakamsha and Karaka Lagna today. A lot. Lagna Amsha. Lagna Amsha is the sign of Lagna of the Rashi chart. Oh, watch this. It's not your Navamsha Lagna. Lagna Amsha is not Navamsha Lagna. It's the Rashi Lagna of the Rashi chart seen in the Navamsha chart. For example, my Lagna is Scorpio. My Navamsha Lagna is Cancer. But if I see Scorpio in my Navamsha, Scorpio becomes Lagnamsha. Okay? Even though Cancer is Navamsha Lagna, it is not Lagnamsha. It is Scorpio which is my Lagnamsha.
It's 50,000. According to
According to this, it's 5th house, yes. But from here, let's say I put my Rashi Lagna in Navamsha. From here I can see houses from it and also see planets in there.
We are looking
Exactly. So whichever planets are in Scorpio in Navamsha will have an impact on my head. Okay?
Nice.
Interesting.
Like 27.
27?
Yeah.
Like D27, yes, we did something very similar there, correct? When we talked of Nakshatramsa the other day, we did exactly that. We took the Rashi Lagna, put in D27, saw houses from it.
And Jupiter is on my Lagna.
Yeah, is it? Me too. Yeah? Okay. What happened? Got a bit blurry again.
It's fine.
Now it's better. Similarly, we have other terms. Are they listed here? No. Okay. Vyayamsha. Vyayamsha. Vyaya means 12th house. Okay? So my 12th house. In the Amsha. So if I say my 12th house is Libra, then Vyayamsha becomes Libra in my Navamsha chart. Alright? So all those names of which we add the word Amsha to, a house. We take the house and add the word Amsha to. That becomes that house in a Rashi chart as seen in Navamsha. That way we can actually take the entire Navamsha chart position and put on your Rashi. This is very relevant for prediction. Very relevant. For example, the Nadis use this a lot. Naidhana Amsha. Do you know what Naidhana Amsha is? Naidhana means Nidhana, Naidhana, 8th house, death. Death. So Naidhana Amsha is your 8th house as seen in the Navamsha. So there's this Nadi, Chandrakala Nadi says, for a person of, what is the Lagna? Gemini Lagna. Gemini Lagna. If Mars, the 6th Lord, is in 5th house, in Naidhana Amsha, note this, Gemini Lagna. 6th Lord Mars in 5th house. It's not listed here. 6th Lord Mars in 5th house. So that means Mars in 5th house is 6th Lord. And in Naidhana Amsha, which means in Navamsha, it's occupying which sign? 8th house Navamsha. Which sign is that?
That would be Capricorn.
Capricorn, correct. in the Navamsha of Capricorn is implied by this, but they will use the word Naidanamsha to give a general principle. The person will have lots of loss of money from thieves. Okay? So we have to now derive each part of this to see exactly what is going on.
Guruji, I'm not sure I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Naidana Amsha means the eighth house
Of Rashi, in Navamsha.
in Navamsha. So you take the Gemini Lagna, Gemini being Gemini being the third of the zodiac, go to the 10th, which is the fourth from the third, 8th from the third, so you
Yes.
end up there, and you superimpose that sign into Navamsha.
Correct.
Okay, then I understand.
You got it. Let's take each part of this principle and break up so we understand what is the Rishi talking about. Number one, in this chart, 6th Lord is in 5th house. If 6th Lord is in 5th house, it means enemies have become part of your social circle. Enemies have come into your support circle. Okay? Now, if this same planet is placed in the 8th house of Navamsha, that is Naidanamsha we're referring to here, then it means when they come to you, they will cause you to lose wealth.
In 8th house in Navamsha, or when you put that Rashi
When we
back
superimpose what he said.
to...
What he said. Mars, 6th Lord in 5th house.
Okay.
In Capricorn Navamsha.
Mm-hmm.
Is the
Yes,
8th
when you
house
put
from the
it back-
Rashi
yes,
Lagna.
yes. So
Yes.
it's supposed to be in Capricorn Navamsha. When you put
Yes.
it back to Rashi chart, it's in 8th house.
It's an 8th house.
Yes, okay.
Will cause loss of wealth from thieves. Okay? Then it also says that if this is, let's say, in Dara Amsha. What is Dara? Dara is 7th house.
Seventh.
So which sign is that in this case?
Down.
Sagittarius.
7th from Gemini, Sagittarius. So if it's Sagittarius Navamsha, it will cause, what was that?
My pronunciation.
Alright, it's in 7th house as superimposed on the Rashi from Navamsha. Then it's supposed to cause lots of business agreements with those people. Okay? Like receiving wealth from them, receiving business agreements from them. We say receipt of stolen wealth is also one prediction because 6th Lord Mars in 5th house. Shady characters. But you're getting wealth from them. They're in Dharamsha. Okay?
Will you be as kind as show an example on the on the screen of knowledge so we can maybe understand visually also?
Alright. Do I have one here?
It need not be with name and everything, just somebody.
So if I just take this next slide to show the principle. Alright? We will start with the Rashi chart and let's say we want to analyze any position in this chart. Any position. In this chart, Jupiter is Lagna Lord on Lagna. What happens when Jupiter is Lagna Lord on Lagna?
Hamsa, sugar.
Hamsa
Somebody.
Mahapurushoga, teaching, all this stuff.
Which,
Okay? It's also 10th Lord on Lagna, Simhasana Yoga. Okay? So that means a teacher, it's a person who will have a lot of work, will be the leader of an organization, Simhasana Yoga. Now we see which house this corresponds to in its Navamsha chart. That is, see Jupiter in Navamsha. In Navamsha, where's Jupiter? Which sign?
It's in Kumbha.
Aquarius. Now, what is Aquarius? Which house is Aquarius in the Rashi chart?
12.
12th house. So that means all the Simhasana Yoga and everything is going to come from foreign country.
Ah, okay. How cool.
Why Jupiter? You took a Graha and put it in Navamsha and then checked the Graha Rashi back in Rashi.
Yes.
When you were speaking about the Rashis. Like
Yes. Yes, that's the simple way of doing it. I'm seeing which sign is it in Navamsha and which house does this correspond to in Rashi.
you were
This
speaking-
Jupiter is in Vyaya Amsha because that is the 12th house of the Navamsha. I mean, 12th house of Rashi in Navamsha. Hold on. Okay, come. What is the confusion?
Because you were speaking about the signs, not the Grahas. So
Yes.
what I would interpret it's like Paishis Lagna in Rashi. You took it to Navamsha, then check it. It's a 5th house, okay, and then the
Which 5th house?
Paishis are lording 5th house in Navamsha.
No. I don't treat Navamsha Lagna as Lagna. I don't need the Navamsha Lagna for this interpretation at all.
Okay.
All I'm doing is seeing what is the Rashi Lagna.
Okay.
Then I can see, oh, there's a planet there. Let me see the result of that
And
planet.
if there is no planet,
I can see the Lord.
how? Then you took.
Let's take another example then.
His third house.
Second Lord, second house.
Okay.
Let's say I want to see some results of second house, second Lord. For what? Normal things, wealth, family,
Okay,
all those
family.
things. Second Lord is Mars. There's nothing in second house, so it's second Lord Mars. Second Lord Mars is in Marnakarakstana. This is not good. It means a lot of wealth in the form of property can be lost. Okay?
Okay.
Now, let us see. Which sign is Mars's in Navamsha? It's in Taurus.
Okay.
Now see Taurus in Rashi.
Brothers.
Third house.
Mhm.
Through some
Understand?
contracts
Yes.
and
So third house.
battles.
Now I have to, what we call this is third amsha. We call this Bratri amsha. We call it Vikram amsha. So this loss of land, this loss of wealth can happen through brothers,
And agreements also.
okay, or interaction with brothers. You must keep in mind. You must keep in mind. It is happening through interaction with brothers. It is happening due to brothers. It need not be that the brothers are to blame. You cannot blame the brothers. It means the subject which is causing this loss, this prediction we gave in Rashi, is happening through the brothers. There's also this principle when we use this, that it can be the entire third nine axis. Brothers or father or guru, these things can be indicated. Okay?
Teaching.
In this example, what happened was he lost a lot of landed wealth due to his cousins, male cousins. Male cousins are also like brothers, even in Jyotish. Yes, it's not just something which is culturally inherited from, let's say, from the Middle East, for that matter. It's also the case in Jyotish.
What you said before, because of father's
same cases in
position,
India.
he lost
We
some.
have the same
Other?
word for it.
Other positions.
Uh-huh.
In fact, it's all due
Fathers,
to that mass.
fathers.
You see? Yeah, like
You said father. He did.
Oh, they didn't lose land.
Huh.
That's a different land.
Huh.
I know. There's something else there.
Listen, Jen.
May I ask another question?
Did you understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Now, we know this person, he shall remain nameless, and we know that he's often had problem with students. So would you look at his fifth?
Let's see,
Fifth
fifth house,
house.
fifth lord, yes.
Yes.
But then in that fifth
This
house,
is
there
house.
are,
So
in that
enemies
fifth
become
house there are
followers.
both grahas. Would you both look at the grahas and the Lord, or if there's grahas, no Lord, just grahas?
Well, Dennis, it depends on what you want to see. If you see his fifth house in Rashi, he has Venus and Sun there.
Yes.
Venus and Sun there need not be a serious problem.
No.
Look for the problem if there is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to look for blessings as problems. So the fifth house seems to be okay. The fifth lord is not so well placed, moon. Especially when we do some other calculations, it's in Dagda Tithi. So this moon may be a problem. Fifth lord in 12th house can cause either children or students to go away. Okay? Be lost, go away. It causes vairagya.
A5's in the 7th house as well.
If I bet.
Yeah. Let's stick to one point at a time, but you're right.
Yeah. 6.
Now, watch this. So we said this moon is a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is causing loss of students. We can see that there's a loss from the Rashi. I don't need to go to the Navamsha for that. The Navamsha is just going to tell me the finer details. The Rashi is supposed to tell me what's happening. You remember all those charts we did of Karaka, this house, this lord, that lord, placed here, placed there, right? This is just going to tell me what's the overall event, but what is the real bhagya, we call it, the real fortune or misfortune. Moon is in which sign in Navamsha?
In Pisces,
Pisces.
so it's coming back to life.
And it's coming back to Lagna. So this is really happening, this loss is really happening for the purpose of giving him some bad reputation.
Because Lagna is in.
Sanjay Rat's hard to digest teachings website. It's coming from this moon here. See that? Why did that come?
From the
Because of
students.
this.
From the students.
Where is the fortune or misfortune?
But
It's
moon
on the head.
But moon is a
This is
benefit.
church.
Why it's
Moon
giving-
is a benefit, but moon is badly placed in Rashi. right? Moon is badly placed in Rashi. Rashi tells me moon is problem, right? Rashi is telling me that the moon is a problem.
So is he doing something wrong while teaching?
No, this is Navamsha is all about what has God blessed you with and what is God going to give you misfortune with. You cannot say that somebody did something right or wrong. At least not yet. We'll soon get to what is right or wrong. There's more Navamsha coming today. This principle is just telling you where is the fortune or misfortune felt.
Reputation.
So
He will feel the misfortune on his reputation. Because we said in Rashi, it's misfortune. Where's the misfortune? Lagna, reputation.
so this principle.
It can also mean in home country. Lagna can also mean
Yes, I
home
wanted to say that.
country. Yes?
So this
Yes,
principle would be useful for us when we look at a Rashi chart and identify problems to see where more or less they come from.
Yes.
To see where to dig, because there's no need to spend
What they
time
contribute to.
on a blessing.
Yeah.
Because people would come because they have issues.
Blessings are like I showed you a blessing earlier. Now, but see, this principle is very interesting because
But it's so beautiful. But the sixth lord in fine house.
yes, it can cause some enmity there. But sixth lord with eighth lord in fifth house gives Jyotish teaching in a foreign country. Most of his students are from foreign countries. In fact, his best students are from foreign countries. To be absolutely clear. You see the crowd of people. Who are the people who are his best students? They are the most active students are not from India. They're not. Sixth lord and eighth lord in fifth house, teaching the Vedanga in a foreign country, in a foreign language. That's what he's doing.
And that's why he's having trouble at home as well.
Huh?
And that's all.
Why reasons this, that, I'm not going to get into. Because we have not talked about that yet.
Okay.
I'll get to when we get deeper into Swamsha, we'll do that also. Okay, we'll have lots of fun with this. We'll see how accurate these principles are. Just Rashi and Navamsha. Now, what is the real core of this principle? What is the core? What is this really? What when we see this, what are we really looking at?
Bhagya, fortune.
It is the real bhagya, fortune, yes. Think of it this way. These events which are happening in the Rashi, they are all excuses. I call it excuses. Okay? Because what Bhagavan, what Vishnu really wants is this Navamsha chart to manifest. So what really is happening is, he has moon on his Lagnamsha. Okay? Moon is in Paishi's Navamsha, this corresponds to his Rashi Lagna. So moon is in Lagnamsha. So moon wants to affect his reputation. How is moon going to affect his reputation? Moon is 5th lord and 12th, through students going. Look at it in the reverse, philosophically. Most of the time when you do readings, you'll be looking at Rashi first and then Navamsha, just like I did now. But what is really happening is, Bhagwan, Vishnu, wants this to manifest in the Rashi chart. He's wanting these Navamsha positions to manifest in your life. And to do that, he needs an excuse, which is seen from the Rashi.
So you might say that in Rashi, he will have the blessings of moon right there on his lagna. Something like that.
Yes, blessings
Blessings of moon, like...
or misfortune, yes.
okay.
Exactly. Okay. Let's go back. So we managed to get to Lagnamsha. Okay, this is a bit... The terms that we use for the various houses, Lagnamsha, Dhanamsha, Bratramsha, Sukhamsha. These are all referring to houses, therefore clubbed under this line, Lagnamsha. Okay. And Chandramsha. Now Chandramsha, there are no ambiguities about this. Chandramsha is moon in the Navamsha. Whichever sign moon is in Navamsha, that's called Chandramsha. Ketvamsha is the sign of Ketu in Navamsha. You also have Rahvamsha. People who come into your life will have some Rashi chart positions, right? By coming into your life, they are activating your Navamsha positions.
With their lagna.
Their whole chart. Their entire chart activating your Navamsha positions. So proper chart matching is not done between Rashi and Rashi. It's between one person's Navamsha and another person's Rashi, and vice versa. To see which effect they have on you. You asked me this the other day. Right? You also asked me this the other day. How two people affect each other. It's not Rashi. My Navamsha, their Rashi. Okay. It's pivotal, isn't it?
You are affecting my Navamsha.
Yes, I am affecting your Navamsha. And you are affecting my Navamsha. Whichever yogas you have in your chart, in your Rashi, is having an impact on my Navamsha in some way. And vice versa. Okay?
Why is that? I mean, aren't we interacting like a physical bodies regarding the one each of us?
Yes, we are. But we are not matching our physical bodies with each other. People come together for the sake of fortune or misfortune.
Oh, you mean just in the case of astrology thing?
Yes. People come together for the sake of fortune or misfortune. Therefore, whichever positions you have in your chart, in your Rashi, is affecting my Navamsha and vice versa. You should be concerned with your Navamsha, because that is your Bhagya. Always be concerned with your own Navamsha and see your Navamsha. So when you meet a person, check their Rashi positions in your Navamsha. They are triggering planets in your Navamsha. Okay? And it's not just one planet here, one planet there. See what is the real yoga of the chart. What's happening in the chart. Okay?
How can we decide the yogas?
Well,
Think over.
you find first which are relevant yogas in your chart. Okay? For example, in Mutlu's chart, Jupiter and Rahu are in the Taurus in Rashi. Taurus. Signs. Think signs, not houses. Okay? That Jupiter Rahu yoga is actually a big yoga for spirituality. It is. Because Atmakarka is there, Rahu is there, giving deep, deep knowledge about spirituality. There are some problems also there. See that? I will look now to see Mutlu's impact on me from Taurus in my Navamsha. That is the sign of my Ishta Devata in my Navamsha. So in my interaction with Mutlu, I will begin remembering my Ishta Devata. So the other day when I said I was so happy I found baby Krishna. Why did I say that? That has an impact on me. I found baby Krishna. How did I find it? Through Mutlu's yoga for spirituality. Her Atmakaraka is there. So it activates my Ishta Devata. I wake up. My Ishta. Okay? Then I'll start doing certain mantras after that. Suddenly I'll just start doing certain mantras. Unconsciously it'll just start. And I know my Ishta is on its way also. That's what it also implies. My Ishta Devata is coming. Isn't that important? Okay. Sandeep is constantly talking about his Jupiter and Scorpio in Rashi. What am I thinking? My 5th house in Navamsha is that Scorpio with Jupiter and Mars also. So I'm thinking, my God, this boy is going to suck knowledge out of me like anything. Maya has the same. Okay. This fellow has Mars and Scorpio also.
Oh, yes, Guru and Scorpio.
So where will I get the real tough questions? These three are going to ask me really tough questions. Okay. Ketu is in Mutlu, Navamsha and Scorpio. So once in a while that Ketu will hit me and I'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. That question I didn't think of at all. Ketu. Ketu means for a second, I may lose my head. For a second. Just a second. And I think, wait a minute, did I teach this properly, or did I understand this properly myself? I'll think for a second like that. Then the Jupiter has to come up, the Parampara has to come up in Scorpio. Okay? I'll have to teach deep, deep secrets like that.
So when you do matching of people, for instance, to be together, you look at how they're going to affect each other. Is it
Yes.
adverse or?
Yes. Uchi here makes me very happy all the time. You know why? His moon is in Libra. Moon is in Libra. Okay? In my Navamsha, I have Venus in 4th house in Libra. So I'm very happy. I talk to him, I'm very happy. I don't know why I'm very happy. The best thing is he asks me about Vastu, then that's it. His 4th house gets activated, my heart chakra just, no problem. I'll get healthy. Did you know this? I'll get healthy from talking to Agnin. He will tell me things that are good for my health. How can I confirm this? Jens has also Libra Lagna. This is not a Libra Lagna for Agnin, but Jens has Libra Lagna. When I sit and talk to him, he's telling me, oh yes, we do this, we take this oil, we use it and we gurgle it. It's some Ayurvedic cure from Germany. They use it for generations and all. And then you take care of all bacteria in mouth. He says he survived entire winter from not getting throat infection just doing that. I said, wow, that's beautiful. I'm going to do that when winter comes. Because that's my 4th house in Navamsha. 4th house keeps you healthy. It keeps you happy. It gives you bliss. Ananda. Ananda, sorry.
Bliss.
Okay?
For example, someone's Shani is on my D9 Lagna. Did
Oh,
it fit?
that can be problematic, yes. Be careful with that. Person can make you depressed. Okay? That is a problem. What's your Navamsha Lagna? Taurus. My Ishtadevata. Wow. Oh no, Taurus in my chart is not Ishtadevata in Rashi. You should see my Rashi. If no grahas are there, then the impact is not on your head so much. Okay? Could be other positions in the chart. My recommendation, look for important yogas in your Navamsha. When they get activated, then you know. Okay?
And that is also for the partnerships, as D9 says, not only for the relationship guru shishya,
You should use that in
astrologer,
partnerships,
client.
business partnerships, friendships, in-laws, check in-laws, it's important. Everything, family, parents, everybody you interact with, you'll see from this. So, Diego, which planets in your chart are affecting mine? The ones in Taurus or the ones in Gemini?
Taurus should be there. There are
I
Rasi.
know it is. Ishtadevata for me. Okay. So that's what I'll be thinking whenever I interact with Diego. Ishtadevata comes up. Mutla again, Ishtadevata comes up. Those important grounds come up.
Your Jupiter is in
That Virgo for me is like, okay, what's that mess over there? Okay. Has nothing to do with me. Okay. Like this. So this is Chandramsha and Ketwamsha. How you remember this? You just read one line. You know, Visti spoke for 15 minutes about one of them. And next time, Visti spoke for another 15 minutes about that. Okay. Now, where are we next? Let me something. Yes. Things I have to tell you about also. Okay. So, when we speak of Chandramsha, it also has a different connotation. Remember we spoke of Krishna? And he had moon joined his Lagna in all divisional charts I mentioned. Okay? So, we say that the moon has 16 kalas. These 16 kalas can be activated with the Shodashi mantra you learned the other day. And these 16 kalas refer to each of the divisional charts. Now, what is happening is, this moon is showing the 16 kalas of your own mind. So, Moon's Amsha, this Chandra Amsha, it has a direct reference to Kala Amsha. This means two things: 16 divisional charts. It also means D16 chart itself, Shodash Amsha, which is very important to understand the moon's placement in. Okay, people use it just for cars and computers and whatnot, but it is very important to see exactly how your mind is interacting with the world. What is it attached to in this world? And not objects, but people, activities. Is seen from there. It's a good thing to note for later if you don't know. Moon in D16 should be analyzed. Underline.
Moon.
In D16.
61, 60.
D16.
What show?
1 6.
What show exactly?
The attachment of the mind.
Isn't it this some kind of vehicles chart?
Yeah.
No?
It's also used for that. Huh?
Yeah, it is for the immovable.
That's what we tell public. Public consumption means, yes, you see your car in there, see computer in there, see washing machine in there. Then half of people will say, forget this chart. And all the good astrologers in the tradition will say,
It's
Ha!
the second,
the attachment of the mind. What is causing my mind to be bound to this world?
because
Moon in D16.
after D12 you enter the mind divisional charts, the mind level. You
Yeah.
get out of the first
You're
12.
very correct.
So do the looking also taking this moon to
So
the
it's
rest
actually
of the
mentality.
again?
And
There are 4 devatas of the D16 chart. I forget the names now. Or do I? No. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva and Surya. These are the 4 devatas of the D16 chart. Based on which of these 4 devatas are the devatas of your moon in D16, you will know what is your attachment. Those devatas will tell you. And they also tell you the way out.
The sign, water.
Do some calculations, do some math. Open Brihat Parashara Shastra and figure out where your moon is. Or open Jagannath Torah and see it.
Scorpio.
Aha,
I
yeah.
know.
Okay, good. Go calculate.
No.
Good. Check, is it in Brahma? Is it in Vishnu? Is it in Shiva? Or is it in Surya?
But
All you have to do is open details. Amsha details. Amsha rulers in Jagannath Torah and choose D16. You'll get it there.
the
There
moon,
are only 4.
for the moon. I don't know. But the sign is Scorpio. What show?
Scorpio will likely be the same as Vishnu Amsa.
Vishnu.
Gemini?
Aries signs will be Hara Amsa. Shiva Amsa. Check. Go calculate.
So, Shiva, Mantra.
But the Amsa, I don't know
Like
the
this.
Amsa.
Should I think like this? You forgot.
Chandra and all divisional charts should be seen for effects of transits.
Chandra?
Chandra.
In all divisional charts should be seen for transit results. For example, a person has moon in Aquarius in Navamsha. So I will treat Aquarius as Lagna and see it in the Rashi chart. And from there we will see where all the transits are. So let's say a person has moon in Aquarius in Navamsha, and right now Saturn is in Kanya, Virgo,
Oh,
in
eight
Rashi.
house.
That is in 8th house. So the person is running Kantak Shani now.
Astamashani.
Astama Shani, Kantak Shani. Okay?
Interesting. Like mine.
Similarly, you should treat the Lagna and all divisional charts and see the same transits.
wait a minute.
Most
I don't
important
think
Varga for this is D11 chart.
I don't think I understand this. You take only Chandra in all divisional charts, put them on Lagna in the divisional charts,
Yes.
and see the
See
transits.
where the Rashi Gochara is. Rashi transits.
Shani oğlak mıyız olsa kantika Shani?
It's my, yes, Kantaka Shani and Sadhisati, yes.
Which one position?
Sadhisati
It's over the moon.
also, yes. Second house, first house and 12th house
No,
from the
I'm
moon
not
is
asking
Sadhisati.
this.
Mhm.
Transit Shani is over the Lagna. It's on the Lagna. It's
That's Kanta, that's
Kantaka
different.
Shani.
Yes,
That's
on
different.
Lagna it's Kantaka Shani.
Also the 8 from the moon is same Kantaka Shani.
Yes. But for moon it's for health and for Lagna it's for actions, intelligence, what you're doing in life.
That's why I'm sick maybe.
Yes, it's very
Kantaka
likely.
Shani.
Very likely. Be sure to check moon's Navamsha especially for transits. Because it's your Bhagya, your fortune. We barely use Rashi for transits, honestly. Barely.
That's
Navamsha,
the question.
all the Amshas are more important.
We took the Rashi from Navansha and then put it in the physical transit in Rashi chart and check it like that.
Yes.
Vice versa.
For example, a person comes to you with work problems. Open the Dashamsha chart. See where Lagna and Moon is. See what those transits are doing in the signs from there. This does not mean see Dashamsha transit of Saturn. This means see Rashi transit of Saturn or Rashi transit of Jupiter or Rahu or Ketu and see which signs these correspond to in the divisional charts.
Related to the sense.
O sea, si Saturn está en fifth house from the moon, los de show, los work.
Saturn in 5th from Moon.
In the Samsa.
Oh no. Again, you same principles. Sadhisati, Kantakshani.
Uh,
Same principles. We won't change that.
about the work this time.
Yes. Yes. The problematic transit in work is if it comes to 8th house from Moon. But I'll tell you honestly, from Moon is less important in Dashamsha, from Lagna is important in Dashamsha.
Mm.
That is the important one in Dashamsha. Because work has to do with your Lagna.
Oh, I'm all the divisions in Kantaka Shani.
Or you'll find some problem. Shani will always be in one sign. You'll definitely find one problem in one divisional chart. Question is it a relevant divisional chart? Is it work, D10? Is it your real fortune in life, Navamsha? Rashi has to do more like physical things. Like Kantak Shani and Rashi, you'll paint your walls in the wrong color. But Kantak Shani in did I say Kantak Shani and Rashi? Yes.
Yeah.
Kantak Shani and Rashi is just you make some overall physical mistakes. It could be with yourself, it could be with like house or home or whatever. Business, if you have a business, you'll suddenly rearrange the tables and suddenly you'll be in the wrong direction, you know. You'll be facing your right direction as 0 points in Ashtaka instead of 4 points, for example. You'll do such things. But in Navamsha, it is actually a big problem. Things like financial problems, work loss, job loss. Okay, some misfortune is there. In the Shamsha, it also relates very strongly to what is happening exactly in the job. Like some people do not get promoted suddenly for years, though they were supposed to get promoted the year after. Okay? Things like that are seen there. How are parents? CD12.
This is most important for the moon.
Based on this, you don't need dashas, you know transits in all divisional charts and you start predicting. Right? Where are the blessings? Jupiter. Jupiter can single-handedly hold off the curses of Saturn and Rahu and Ketu. It can ward them off.
For instance, in this D12 and there is nothing in the 4th or 9th, what do we check? Like a moon, Jupiter regularly for father and mother? Something like that? Or do we take the lords? Or what do we do?
I have a recommendation. Take the Aruda of the 4th house for mother and Aruda of the 9th house for father in D12. So in D12, calculate them. See which signs they're in. Then treat transits from there.
It's also for normal reading, right?
Normal readings, yes.
A4, A9.
Yes, everything.
Considering you
For
said
father and mother.
Chandra and all divisional charts and all the rest, so does it make more sense to observe transits from Ruda Lagnas in general and from Chandra?
I don't know. Yes. But not a Ruda Lagna in the divisional charts. Ruda Lagna of Rashi.
Uh-huh.
Ruda Lagna should be seen in Rashi.
Ah.
Maybe you can find out a way to figure it out in Navamsha. If you do, I would like to see some research paper on it. I did some research and I did not find it satisfying.
To do what? For Navamsha?
Research a Ruda Lagna in divisional charts.
So since as we discussed earlier, or that you elaborated on earlier, that Shani is the one that can bring down all Raj Yogas.
Yes,
Then if somebody wants to know what's going to happen to my Adhuda or Lagna or my image in this world,
yes,
then we look at Shani's placement from Adhuda Lagna
yes,
at any given point.
yes,
And we can tell them whether the Raj Yoga will start, finish, or nothing will happen.
yes. Supplement this with analyzing Lagna and Moon in Navamsha and the transits therefrom. Because the Moon in the Navamsha is really the carrier of the Aruda.
The transit of the moon.
Transit of the planets from Moon
In
in
Navamsha.
Navamsha. So like, in my case, Moon is in, it's in Aquarius Navamsha, go figure. So, I should see the transits from Moon. So, we're from Aquarius,
Oh.
sorry.
So you are also
Sunny.
in competition.
In 12th
Yes.
house.
I have health problems, but not so severe, that's all. How severe we'll see from the chart. Transit is just activating.
You are young.
Yes, you could infer that, yes.
No problem.
Yeah.
Maybe
Great.
30 years later. if you
Maybe
need.
30 years later. You're right. Maybe. Okay. Let me just see if we can get through this. Yes. The more intense these signs are in your natal chart, afflicted, having malefics, the more intense they are, the worse the effects of the transits are. So if you want to judge how bad a transit is, see, for example, 8th house from Moon. Is that afflicted very badly? If it is afflicted very badly, when Saturn comes there, it will be a
Just
difficult
add to the
transit.
problem. It will be?
What did you say?
I said it will just add even more problem.
It shows the intensity. How bad is the problem? How easy is the problem? Obviously, if you're seeing Moon in Aquarius in Navamsha, like in my case, and you want to see the effects of 8th therefrom, which is Virgo. If Virgo is afflicted, it'll be more intense. That's what it implies.
But if in Rashi,
In Navamsha. The affliction is in Navamsha, not in the Rashi chart. Keep that in mind. That is the key here. If let's say my Virgo, which is the 8th house from Moon in Navamsha is afflicted, then when Saturn comes there, the affliction is more tough.
So it will result in what? In Bhagya, in marriage, in what?
What the result is?
Yes, what the result is.
Of the-
Saturn and
How do you mean?
Oh,
Where
for
it is
example,
where it
for
is
example.
affecting one.
Saturn.
For example, you were saying it's an 8th house from Moon, so if that
What chart?
sign is what?
in what chart?
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. If that sign is afflicted and Shani is transiting this sign, which are the results in life? It's Navamsha.
Navamsha need not only be marriage, it has to do with all fortune, as you know.
Okay, Bhagya, I mentioned it first, then
Yes,
marriage, then.
But 8th house can cause problems in relationships because it's the Maraka to 7th house.
Okay.
Yes. So you have to check that. Especially 8th house from Navamsha Lagna. It's most important. If that is having a transit there, see if the marriage is strong or not.
Okay,
If it is strong, then this just means physical separation. It doesn't mean break of the marriage.
But that's exactly what I'm trying to ask you. Do we look at that 8 from Moon as where it is placed from Navamsha Lagna or?
Yes, the
Okay.
whole thing.
So if I don't know, your moon is in Aquarius in
Yes.
Navamsha, and you check it in the Rashi chart, and you say, okay,
No, you don't.
sorry,
Hold on. Go on.
and you have Aquarius in your Rashi chart. Now Shani is making a.
Is 8th the from? In Virgo?
Now, okay, now it's
Yes.
a there from, so it's bad. You interpret
Yes.
that, okay, it's a change in some issues with health, etc. But on the same time, your Rashi moon is having is, I don't know, is in Taurus and has beneficial influence from Shani.
Yes.
So which is more dominant?
Always
Like-
Navamsha.
Always the Marsha.
Always Navamsha, yes. Like I said from Rashi, it's external. You're not getting the right medicine. Some people are giving you the wrong oils, wrong food, wrong this. That's all Rashi. Due to that, one can fall sick temporarily until somebody tells you, eat the right things. Navamsha, it's not just about your external things.
But it's not your physical body, Navamsha. Navamsha is your bagi and not your physical body.
Yes.
This moon
So if
from
Vishnu
Rashi can
decides-
hurt you more than...
So if Vishnu decides, then it doesn't matter what your body is, how you're eating, how healthy you are. He will smash everything if he wants. If he wants. Navamsha is so important. Because the effects will come through the soul. If they're coming from that level, then what will you do? The Rashi you can change. Navamsha, how much can you change? You can work very hard with the Navamsha. You must work very hard with the Navamsha. Because it means Vishnu is saying, you did something very bad in past life. Now is the time for punishment to come. If that punishment has to come, you cannot stand back.
Guruji, in the same way you just mentioned earlier that Guru can ward off evils from Rahu and Shani and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So would you judge the same in Navamsha? Let's say that the person is running a period where Shani is going over the 8th from moon, which means
Yes.
they'll have health problems. Then you would look at any beneficial aspect from Guru to see if that can mitigate it.
If Guru is in Kendra to the moon,
Okay.
transit Guru in Kendra, that blocks the negatives.
Transit Guru, not Navamsha Guru, but Transit Guru.
Transit Guru, yes.
Okay.
We use them at the same time.
Okay.
Transit Saturn, transit Guru. Transit Saturn, transit Guru.
And D9 is not independent chart. It is the part of the Rashi chart. So when you say, okay, exalted planet in Navamsha can give the Nichavanga to the debilitated planet in Rashi, it is not vice versa. The Navamsha chart is superimposing this, and it's not separate chart of its own. It just controls the Rashi,
Yes.
something like that.
There are divisional charts which are higher than the Rashi. Not all divisional charts are. We have 16, not all are higher than the Rashi. There's some which are higher.
Mhm.
Dharmamsha, you know Navamsha? Dharmamsha, right? Then there's a few others. Okay?
So the Shani is going over my Atmakarak Jupiter also in D9. Suffering is coming from there.
It means that there are some Atma level issues which have to be resolved specifically. But your Atmakara is Jupiter. That can be a blessing in the long run.
And Ketu there also.
So that's Ketu is really causing the problem. It's not Jupiter. Because we know, if you notice from our previous dictum, whatever is in that sign, in the Navamsha, that is either making things easier or worse. Atmakaraka will not make things worse. He will try to protect all the time. But malefics will try to make things worse. Okay? Soon I'll get to tell you why some of these things are happening. Why? The true meaning of why. Let me just see some more. By the way, I should note that the most important divisional charts you should use is Rashi, Navamsha and Drekana.
For transit.
Yes. Now, if you're running Sadhe Sati, there is one piece of advice. Only one piece of advice. And it's good and it works. Saturn wants you to change.
Vayu.
So change.
Change.
Come and solve.
So what is the difference between Sadhasati and Rashi chart, Sadhasati and Navamsha, Sadhasati and Drekana?
No difference.
Yes, but
In all
my
cases, you
case-
must change.
Okay.
The effects on your life are particular. 12th house in Rashi from Moon. Let's say Sadhi Sati in 12th house from Moon in Rashi.
Okay.
Is supposed to affect relationships. Now, in Navamsha, 12th house from Moon is supposed to also affect relationships. What is the difference? In the Rashi, it means that you are supposed to make a physical change. Like title has to change. You're going from being a couple to be a married couple. You're going from staying apart to moving together. Okay? That is what's happening in Rashi. Physical changes. In Navamsha, it's real changes in the relationship dynamics. These occur with time. Like, okay, for all these years you have not washed the dishes, now you should start washing the dishes. For all these years, you have been doing this and this to me in public. You should stop doing that to me in public. It becomes more personal. It's in the relationship itself. Okay? D10, Moon, 12th house, your relationships with people at the workplace.
Yeah, but for example, just when you get out of that part of Sadhasati in Rashi chart, which is 12 from Chandra, and for example, if after leaving that sign, Shani is entering a sign which is also 12th from Moon in Navamsha, so how will you interpret?
The same way I just said. In Rashi, it's
Okay,
more
external change, then
outward,
change,
external.
following, and at the
And-
same time it's over Chandra in Rashi chart, so it's doing what?
So that means if in Rashi chart, external changes with regards to health, first house.
Mhm.
In Navamsha, if it's in 12th from Moon, then at the same time as changing your the external regarding health, you have to adhere to some personal issues in the relationship.
Okay.
In the transiting planet, we check that as a karaka of the house. For instance, Shani is like, I don't know, 6th, 8th, 12th. So it brings those kind of, or we are checking lordship of that planet, what is bringing to us. Lordship of the transiting planet or karaka?
Never lordship of the transiting planet. Never lordship of the transiting planet. But house placements of the signs, it's in.
House placements with regards to it. So, but there is a difference if Jupiter is transiting and making or Shani. So
Jupiter is a blessing and Shani is a curse.
just like that.
Yeah.
No lordship checked with Shani or Jupiter.
No, never.
Sun is then.
Not in transit at least.
Do we looking also decrease? When will become something like this?
When it matches the graha.
When we do Brigu transit, we'll discuss that. Okay? Not now. We'll wait with that.
But there's
We're doing first transit in Rashi. After that, we'll start putting degrees and figure out all the divisional charts. How exactly it's mapping. Like, we take Saturn's transit. It spends 2.5 years per sign. Okay?
Mhm.
So 2.5 years, that is how many months? That is 24 plus 6, that's 30 months, right?
Mhm.
So those 30 months you divide into 9 Navamsha. How much is that?
3.20.
3.20.
Yes.
3.20.
Yes.
So, how much is that per Navamsha then?
3 years.
How many-
3 months and 10 days.
So every Navamsha will spend 3 months, 10 days. So we can see what Saturn is doing every 3 months, 10 days based on his transit Navamsha. But we're not discussing that now. Because then we can do things like putting it in Navamsha, seeing it in Navamsha, seeing it back in the Rashi, everything.
But it's
Mhm.
different than I want to mention.
Hmm?
It is different.
But degrees you're asking, right? Degrees, I'll tell you this. Don't use degrees to begin with in transits. Not to begin with. When you see the transit of Rashi chart, and you see this how many years, this 1 year, this so on and so forth, then you have two options. Either you use transit of Sun and Moon to see when the event will happen, or you use dashas. Okay? The solution is to change. If you change your heart, you will change your life.
It's the most difficult thing.
That's why we do mantras for the heart. Ishta Devata.